See, Alan, I want to turn my attention to a topic that Bahamians have been crying out for in recent times, and that is the enactment of freedom of information um, legislation. Let's go and listen to what was said in the House of Assembly with regard to that.
The rollout and testing phase of the Freedom of Information system is expected to be ready by November of this year. This coming from State Minister for Legal Affairs Jomo Campbell.
Under the mentioned IDB loan, the bidding process to choose a vendor to provide a tracking system has begun, and the award of the bid should be announced shortly after which the system will be built and user tested before implementation.
Campbell further explained how funding from the IDB will be central to the rollout of the system.
Under the resources of a $30 million loan program sponsored by the IDB, a consultant has been chosen and has developed a national implementation plan for the phased rollout of the Freedom of Information. This national implementation plan has been presented to Cabinet and approved.
A stakeholders committee has been appointed, and the Centerville MP says that they have met on several occasions to map out the way forward.
And is now tasked with reviewing the implementation plan and advising the Office of the Commissioner. Their support has been crucial. Madam Speaker, full implementation of freedom of information is a process that must be undertaken in stages.
Key ministries have been identified as the pilot agencies to test the system, according to Campbell.
The Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Works, Bahamas Power and Light, Department of Public Procurement, the Treasury, Bahamas Investment Authority, the Ministry of the Public Service, the Ministry of the Environment, and the Department of Immigration.
The Ingram administration had passed the FOIA shortly before the 2012 general election, but gave no date for enactment. Months before the 2017 general election, the Christie administration passed a revised version of the FOI.
Your thoughts, C. Allen? Should we get excited?
Garbage then, even more garbage now. I challenge the minister and anyone else who says that we have a freedom of information bill or we have a freedom of information infrastructure prepared. It's pure garbage. It's based on technology. Imagine that the world has been run by data, by these Fortune 500 companies, all data companies, and what we say, we're going to rebuild. Say, we're going to hire people to rebuild with Google and Dell and Oracle and all those other people already did. We're going to hire somebody to build the software for us, build the tracking software for us, build all these different things. It's like, what this is this like I don't know if it's the arrogance or the ignorance. I don't want people to think it's insulting, right? But we live in a culture of political narcissism.
Oh, wow.
Okay, we do. And you have to understand what is a narcissist. A narcissist is somebody who passes him or herself off as a competent, and they usually come across as a competent person. They have the confidence of the competent without the competence. Okay? So we watch our political claim. They overclaim their contributions, overpromise and underdeliver. That's, I don't know, call any psychologist thing. Okay? They will tell you what, they take credit for everything that goes right, and they dismiss everything, they blame everybody else that goes wrong. Look at even our third parties practice this. Okay? How you use the expression? They claim the reputational status without having to do any of the hard work that earns the designation. It's a fact. There's no ifs, ands, and buts. And so here we are talking about 21st century concepts with no concept of the 21st century. Let's first talk about the data commissioner. The data commissioner doesn't even know we don't have any digitized records anywhere, organized in any capacity. So essentially what you're going to do, make a request, and then somebody will go and hand look and search through whatever to find whatever it is. How about those, let's use Grand Bahama. How do I find the records of the thousands, I know of thousands of files that was destroyed in the storage facilities on Grand Bahama because of the Hurricane Dorian, the records on Abaco, because we are still a paper society. We have not digitized anything. In fact, the archives department are complaining about people working in there because of mold and mildew and everything else, because we haven't moved to digitizing those records. Freedom of information to what? This is intellectual masturbation again.
Oh my
This is
God.
not based in reality of where we live in the 21st century. And so you could put past all information. You can say, whatever you ask for, we'll get it for you. Just remove the time limit, because somebody has to go to the basement and hopefully get the right gas mask to be able to find the records. And we should give them 10, 20 years to find the boxes and such. What happens is, if we were serious about freedom of information, at the time we began talking with it, we'd have been digitizing from then going forward, and then have a whole team of individuals to begin to digitize the record going backwards. The one place they don't want to be digitized is immigration. The one place, let me just say this though. When I came home, digitization already had started, There's a company called Benchmark that's run by Erin Kikinos that has digitized a tremendous amount of records. I won't even begin to tell you the legal access that has been had to it, the birth records, all of these different records. And we just need to go find out from Benchmark if we paid him his money yet, because up to the last election, it was not paid. Based on the court records, I think the former Attorney General was his lawyer right up until he became Attorney General, demanding his payment. But he has the records. And we haven't digitized since then anything else that I'm aware of, whether it be our court records, our birth records, our immigration records, all of these different things. And so you could make an announcement with the millions of dollars you spend anywhere for what? It's like buying gas for a car you don't have. It's just pure garbage. And I tell people all the time, I've been talking now for 2 decades. I haven't had anybody to reasonably challenge me. But everything I've said in the evangelized in 2 decades has come true or is being proven to be reality. I don't base my thought on feelings and thinking and how I feel and what I believe, whatever. I am a data-centric person. I base it on evidence. I'm an evidence-based environment. And the data says freedom of information is a fantasy in the Bahamas in the current incarnation concept that we're trying to execute it. You could spend $1 million. You know what? Imagine that we're trying to digitize the world. And since 1968, we began digitization in the Bahamas with Philinda and Penman. And I want you to call National Insurance or any government industry and tell them to send you a PDF document. Just tell them to send it to you. Okay?
Speaking